When I was a kid, I used to discriminate against those with brown skin, thinking in my mind if I was white, I wouldn't be full of so much sin. Now, when I look at the brown women, how the brown of these women are oh so much winning, melanin intertwined and so full of the substance of divine living. My brown women, proud women, afros, curly cues, and nappy and thick edges, she stomps with pride as she wears those thick wedges. Brown girls, brown girls. Brown girl, you are bright, bold, and beautiful. Brown girl, I have so much love for you. Thank you for participating.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for participating in 7 days of QueenDom. This is day 1, and we are going to be talking about self-confidence. We are really going to dig deep with this 7 days of QueenDom, and I just ask that you speak wholeheartedly from your heart about your experiences. So I'll get into the first question. What makes you feel confident in yourself?
Well, I'll start by saying that self-confidence has taken a long journey for me to even get to this point, because I was teased growing up for my skin color. I didn't think I was valuable at all. I had really low self-esteem. I didn't think I had a voice or an opinion, partly because of the strict sheltered upbringing I had growing up. So how I look on the outer surface was something that I didn't really feel confident in, and how I felt about myself as a human being, I felt like I didn't really have a place. So I've had a long evolution. I can see I'm pushing 30. I'll be 30 this year, and I had a lot of hard-learned lessons to help me get to this point. So self-confidence for me is something that's I'm still evolving, and I think you'll continue to evolve as you get older and you hit different phases in life, and your body does changes, and your mindset, your perspective changes. But for me, self-confidence is learning to accept who you are, which I feel like in the past 3 or 4 years, I've finally come to grips with who I am as a human being, and just partly figuring out who I am and accepting it. And then learning to appreciate yourself physically. And beauty is fleeting, as it's known. And, some people are, I guess you could say, are more aesthetically pleasing than others, but that really doesn't matter, because it's at the core of who you are as a human. So I had to learn that and realize that, okay, yeah, so I may not look like Tyra Banks, but I'm still just as valuable as she is. Even though my features aren't like hers and I can't slay in front of the camera and smile like she does, I'm still just as valuable. My worth is not determined based on how beautiful or how pretty other people think. Mm-hmm. What I've been given is life. Life is a gift. And there are so many things about me that are beautiful.
But I feel like you touched on a lot of prominent points that people need to hear. For example, just accepting for who you are. And I personally feel like that's where self-confidence comes from, is from self-acceptance. And a lot of people struggle with that, and it is a everyday thing. And as you can see, not only with myself but with you, it is something that affects us as we grow up, down to the people that we're around, our family, our friends. Thank you for that. Next question: who or what influences you to be confident?
It's kind of two-pronged. Because I see, and I have been a very unconfident person for a majority of my life. So I came to a point where I was tired of just feeling like I was insecure. Mm-hmm. other women or people who don't feel like they're confident to be more confident in themselves, to kind of help empower them, or people who come across me to be confident. And then, of course, there are people who are, I feel like they've reached the finish line and they know who they are and you can't tell them anything. So I'd say there's one person, I consider her to be my mentor. She's a poet, and I guess you could say she's kind of Instagram famous in the DC area. Her name is Rebecca Dupas, and this woman, I've had the pleasure of working under her at the Holocaust Museum, and she taught me so many things just about how she conducted herself. And then when we connected through social media, she would post a lot of things about, just her journey as a person and how she holds her head up high in a lot of challenging scenarios. She's pursuing her PhD right now, and she works around a lot of men and a lot of people who are on different levels. And as a Black woman, it's difficult to be respected in certain arenas, especially when you get into those high academia realms. So watching her journey and how she navigates and being a strong, unbent Black woman, confident, and she's a poet as well. And so a lot of her poetry is influenced by those experiences. It's just, oh my God, I look up to her so much. And of course, celebrities, I really look up to Janelle Monáe. Her little pop, I call her a Pop-Tart. She's so small. Her little Pop-Tart self. I've always loved her music and how she decided she doesn't really focus on appearances and just your worth as a human being, and telling everyone that everyone has a light inside of themselves, and there's a reason why we're all here, and it's doing others a disservice if you don't shine that light. So and of course there are other people like you. Inspire me. You're one of the people who inspire me because you've taken a chance on yourself. And when we talked at the photo shoot that you did my makeup, we were talking about how you didn't always know how to do certain looks and everything, and I'm like, of course we all know that you have to start from somewhere, and we're not going to be the expert when we first begin, but I can't imagine you not knowing how to do something because of how great you are now.
Thank you.
And that has encouraged me to just pursue my dreams. Just take a leap. The hardest part is the first step sometimes.
And I think it's the gist of what I got from what you're saying is the women that you're looking at are standing their ground. They are confident in what they do, and they trusted the process and the progress. And because for me, that's what it's all about, trusting the process and being proud of the progress. For example, with right now, just even working on weight loss and things like that, saying things to myself like, okay, you did a mile, you burned 300 calories. I'm proud of you. And it's something so small, but it means something so big, especially to someone like me, because it does make you feel more confident in what you're doing when you tell yourself things like, I'm proud of you. I think from another point of what you touched on with what you were saying, where how these women took the chance to step out of the box and say, I'm not going to do what is so-called normal, when it comes down to the standards of westernized beauty, even with Janelle Monáe or, even I'm sorry, I forget her name. Your other friend that you were talking about, and how she just, Rebecca, and how Rebecca, is just standing her ground. And I feel like that's what makes you be more confident, and it empowers you because you stand for something that you believe in. You don't falter. You don't waver away from it. And that essentially makes you more confident and makes you stand out. It makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you confident. That's the only way that I can put it. So, next question is, tell me when you first learned what confidence is. Who defined this for you? Who let you know that you are confident?
I will say, and this is probably not true. I know this is not true confidence, because when I began to start, unfortunately, and I'm sure this is common for a lot of people, I went through a period in high school where I was the lowest type of low. So many people teased me for being dark-skinned, and I didn't really have anybody to tell me that was not true. So I really believed that I was ugly, and that because I'm dark, there's a problem with me, as opposed to just accepting myself for who I am. So I remember that when my mindset began to change, it's like, it doesn't mean anything at all right now, but when people started showing that they liked me, like, wanted to be with me as a girlfriend, that's when I started to realize, okay, maybe I'm not ugly after all. That was like the first light. Of course, that's not true confidence, because you can't base your self-worth on how other people feel about you, but that was a pinnacle moment for me, because I genuinely thought that I was a ugly person.
It's not funny. No.
It's not funny. Oh goodness, I'd say it wasn't until, honestly, I was almost done with undergrad that I started to really look inside. And what also helped with this is that I had the right people myself to help me to understand that the way I was looking at my self-worth was flawed. And it was my friends that helped me to see that, listen, your heart is good, and the way you treat people is good, and these are the good qualities about you. Yes, you're beautiful, all those things. Physically, you're gorgeous and whatnot, but they helped me to see another side of beauty.
It's inside.
Definitely. It's inside. The real side of beauty is inside. And but up until then, I guess, as from teenage years up to like early college, middle college, I didn't have the right people in my circle, and it was very shallow. The things that they cared about was like, oh, how well you dress, how good is your makeup, how many boys can you pick up, or how many boys are looking at you. So the reason why it took so long is because I wasn't around the right people. And when did I find out? So,
well, who defined this for you, and who let you know that you are confident?
And that was my friend Ashley, because I remember having a heart-to-heart with her, and I felt broken. I'm like, I'll go on dates and stuff, and I'll feel like I'm at my best. I'll wear stuff, and God will give me confidence, but I still feel really bad on the inside, and I don't feel like I'm worthy. And so I had that conversation with her, and I'm so glad that she was open, created a safe space for me to share that, and that's when we began to talk. And she started to help me see things from a different perspective. And so I will never forget her, and always love her for that.
Wow, you just got me thinking about, for myself, when I first learned about confidence. And I want to say, it's sad, but I learned about it in the same way. I always thought I was ugly until in high school, I finally had my first boyfriend, and guys started liking me, and I thought confidence was the way you dress, the people that you're around, even so much so to the point where I got all the way done with college, and I moved here to Maryland with my mother, and it smacked me right in the face that these people that I cared about so much didn't give a damn about me, and that it forced me, being isolated away from that situation, it forced me to look in the mirror at myself and say, hey, these guys that you thought loved you or thought cared so much about you, and that you thought defined your confidence, They don't. They do not define your confidence, and your confidence is not defined by other people. It's not defined by what you wear. It's not defined by who you hang out with. It's truly about what's on the inside of you. And that's why I always say on every one of my videos, adjust your crown, know your worth, know that the beauty inside of you is always first. Because that's really what it's about. That confidence is the beauty that is inside of you, and that comes first. And we all have a crown on our head, and it can be tilted at points in time because, you know, tilted to the point where it could fall off because we're too busy looking around at other people and things to define what our queendom or our kingdom is, and it's really just not that.
That's a great analogy.
And so, you know, like I said, I had to take the time to force myself to look in the mirror and ask myself what I wanted out of life, what I wanted out of a relationship, what I want out of who I'm surrounding myself with, to get to the point where I am more confident to protect my peace, know my self-worth, and to the point where you just don't accept certain things anymore, you know, and that is true confidence, how you feel about yourself on the inside. Tell me about a time you did not feel confident in yourself. Who or what made you feel this way? How did you overcome this challenge? And so, like I said before, I know that you probably already touched on this, but I do want you to talk about a specific experience that relates to this question.
Okay. I'll say in 2013, that was rock bottom. I was coming up on I guess you can say, borderline 25. My life didn't go as planned. I just had everything mapped out back when I was young, and I just knew that by the time I hit 25, 26, my career would be where it's going to be. I would be making the amount of money I wanted, and I would have a significant other, and things would be going good, and we would probably be married. Just all kinds of ideas that just didn't happen. Life did not go that way for me, so I slipped into a depression. Around that time, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, so I was really concerned about her and helping to take care of my youngest brother. And I linked up with this guy, and I got into a relationship with him. I did not realize this because of the lack of confidence and feeling of self-worth that I had, that he was abusive. So I want to say that lasted about 6 or 7 months, and then I decided to leave him and walk away from him. He really did hurt me physically and mentally. But somehow, and I definitely attribute my strength in being able to leave that situation to my youngest brother. He was living with me at the time. My friends, I was living in North Carolina during that time period. Once I finished school at NC State, decided to live out there and work. And then my other friend, Ashley, who had, of course, has always been really supportive and helped me to see the true value that I had inside. If it weren't for those people that weren't in my life at the time, I probably I would have been in that situation a lot. So when I walked away, I didn't turn back.
Yeah.
And I guess you can say, in my younger years, it was so common for me to, if you break up with somebody, then, it's not really over yet. And later, for a little while, you go back. And you walk away, you go back, and you're still in communication. But I realized that I had to cut him off.
Yeah.
And, but also with that, it was also a time when I was starting to really insert inside of yourself, and learn to appreciate who I was and my value at the same time. That specific scenario sticks out to me, not because, of course, it wasn't that long ago, and that really was a turning point. Yeah. Because when I stood back and I looked at it, I said, wow, I felt so inferior that I allowed someone to hurt me. And that was really scary for me because, in a lot of abusive relationships, sometimes women don't make it out of that. It's too late. But for me, I was able to stop, walk away, and then just proceed with my life.
You found your confidence.
I did.
You found yourself. I want to say it's sad, or it's unfortunate that a lot of times going through situations like that, and it's kind of like going back to what I was saying before when I got out of college or whatever. It forced you to look at yourself in the mirror. And, I'm sorry that you went through a situation that was like that. But I'm happy that you shared that story, because there are a lot of women that are going through that and still go through that, and they feel like they can't make it out. In this particular situation, you saved yourself, because you had the strength to get up and say, hey, look, Vanessa, what am I doing? How am I living? Is this how I want to live? Is this how I want to continue on? And I think that's something that's so important about this particular Queen Convo in itself, is I want women, men, whoever, to realize that when it comes down to self-confidence, it's not something that comes overnight, but it's definitely something you have to realize when something is going wrong, and claim your confidence.
Yes.
Claim your confidence, claim, speak it into existence. Whatever it is that you want, speak it into existence, affirm it, and claim your confidence overall. And so I definitely commend you for overcoming that challenge, which is a really big challenge to a whole lot of people that don't have to go through that situation. And I really just appreciate you sharing that story, because it means so much to confidence. It really does. So that is all the questions that I have for the self-confidence portion of 7 days of QueenDom. I want to thank you so much for participating.
Thank you. This is an amazing concept for makeup tutorial. Yes. And I look forward to seeing it grow in all these episodes that come out.
Yes.
Subscribe,
yes.
Please.
Subscribe.